Welcome to this week's look at the state of the New York City real estate market, where I take a look at the luxury market, the Manhattan market, and the Brooklyn market. I do it because I want you to be informed. It never hurts when you're a consumer to be informed. Welcome to this week's look at the state of the New York City real estate market. This is a report for the week of June 20th to 26th. I bring you the latest news about the luxury market, the Manhattan market, and the Brooklyn market. Why? Because I want you to be informed. That's how you will have the most successful outcome if you're thinking about or trying to buy or sell here. If this kind of information is of use to you and you find it valuable, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Feel free to ask me questions. You can always post them below or reach out to me directly. So let's get started. What happened last week? We'll start with the luxury market. There were 20 contracts signed. That is 8 more than the previous week. And condos outsold co-ops 12-5, and there were 3 townhouses in the mix. This is a really nice bounce back. And if we look at just historically what has been happening since early 2021 through May, we were averaging 30 contracts at this level a week. And when you think about it, 4 million and above, 30 contracts a week, that's a pretty impressive number. Anything now at 20 contracts and more a week in the luxury part of the market is still very, very good. So great bounce back. Really glad to see that from the week before. The number one contract was 10B at 1060 Fifth Avenue. It was asking $20 million. It's been on and off the market since 2016. It started at $65 million. It cycled through 4 brokerage firms. Wow. This 13-room co-op has 7 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, corner living room with 11-foot ceilings, a library, formal dining room, all with wood-burning fireplaces, faces Central Park and the reservoir. The building allows 50% mortgage financing, and amenities include a state-of-the-art gym with a lap pool, a half-court basketball court, and a golf simulator. For those who are curious, 1060 Fifth Avenue is a building that has had some quite well-known residents, past and present. Everyone from George Soros, philanthropist, businessman, Elon Wertheimer, who is the chairman of Chanel, and former ambassador Bruce Gelb, so diplomat, also businessman, a lot of other people as well. It's a very beautiful building, very, very sought after. Location is amazing. So that was the number one contract. Number 2 contract was Penthouse A at 360 Central Park West. It was asking $16.495 million. It was listed in the middle of May by the sponsor developer. This pre-war duplex condo has 4,354 square feet. It includes 4 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms. Also has Central Park and reservoir views from all rooms. The 26-foot living room, the 35-foot dining room, and the kitchen are all surrounded by about 1,100-foot square terrace. The kitchen is outfitted with Christopher Peacock cabinetry, and the bathrooms are marble with waterworks fixtures. The unit, interestingly, is still under construction. It's expected to be completed in September. Amenities include a doorman, a fitness center, children's playroom, and storage. So now let's talk about the statistics for last week. Total weekly asking price sales volume was $154,270,000. The average asking price, $7,713,500. Median asking price, $5,500,000. And the average discount from original ask to last asking price, 2%. And the average days on the market, 424. All right, that is it for the luxury market. Nice bounce back up from the 20 contracts, 8 more than the week before. That's pretty great. All right, let's move on. We're going to talk about Manhattan now. So what happened in Manhattan last week? Well, we saw the supply go down a little bit, 11.11%. We saw 368 properties come on the market. There were 199 contracts signed. That is also down about 16%. So we're seeing a little pullback in the signed contract activity. It is still a seller's market, but it's because we're seeing those things move in tandem, right? We're seeing less inventory and we're seeing less contract activity. So that is accounting for the market staying sort of the same when it comes to who the market is actually favoring right now. With regard to the supply in terms of the actively listed inventory in Manhattan is for the moment kind of going sideways, as you can see in the chart. And the demand is, we're also seeing a kind of a lowering of that number, but it's negligible, and that is really to be expected at the start of the summer. The new listings also tick down, but they remain at a seasonal level. And the new listings, the overall number of new listings remains ahead of previous years, as you'll see in the chart, which is kind of interesting. The signed contracts headed down again this week, but they remain at levels typical for the season. And the signed contracts, the trend for cumulative contracts signed, has flattened as we are into summer. Higher than the 2019s, the slope, as you can see in the chart, is flattening as the seasonality kicks back in. Now, I just want to talk for a second about the Manhattan rental market. Why, you ask? We're talking about sales. Yes, but the reason that I bring up rentals is the narrow spread between the supply and the demand over the last year and a half has pushed rents up to record levels. And with summer as the busy rental season, don't expect to see a lot of change in these dynamics. Personally, I see this with my clients, those who are just thinking about renting for the moment while they're trying to figure out what they want to do. I mean, it is a slugfest out there for my clients to secure a rental property that they want. So, something to think about. And that is also continuing to put pressure on the Manhattan market. A lot of people are feeling like, hey, it's going to cost me so much to rent here, and it's so difficult, and I have to pay a broker's fee, and I have to go through the hassle, and then I have to move again, and the landlord's just going to raise the rent. A lot of people are just deciding it's a smarter move to buy, and there are some good opportunities out there for buyers. So let's now move on. We're going to talk about Brooklyn. So what happened in Brooklyn last week? Well, inventory was up about just slightly, about 7%. 225 properties came on the market. There were 157 contracts signed. That is kind of flat. So if we look at supply, the actively listed inventory in Brooklyn ticked down. Unsurprisingly, the trend is essentially sideways. The demand, the pending sales in Brooklyn ticked up a little bit, but the trend is kind of overall kind of sliding down as we get into the summer, kind of further and further into the summer. New listings, the weekly new listings are coming in at a slower pace than 2021. Brooklyn hasn't seen as many new listings compared to this new time. If you look at this time last year, the current trend is kind of leveling off for the summer. Contracts signed are down a bit, further suggesting that buyer activity may be slowing, and the cumulative number of contracts in Brooklyn signed is below last year's running total at this time. I've shared a chart with you about the market pulse in Brooklyn. The market pulse, it's broken down by price point. And so you have the under 600,000, 600,000 to $1 million, $1 million to $2 million, and $2 million to $5 million. This might be a chart that you want to take a close look at, depending on which price point you're in. So we're going to share that with you in a link below, so you can take a closer look. The net listings, new listings in Brooklyn is in general, the buyers are still feeling the pinch. Under $1 million, especially really tight. We only have 1 month of positive net new listings since January of 2021. Listings over $1 million is slightly better in terms of, let's call it relief for buyers, but still very tight. I would say the only part of the market that where buyers are maybe seeing a little more opportunity is with the townhouses. Okay, that's it for Brooklyn. I'll be back next week with more up-to-the-minute news on what is happening in the luxury, Manhattan, and Brooklyn real estate markets. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you might have. You can post them below. You can reach out to me directly. Happy to answer any questions that you might have about what's going on in the market here. I'll be back next week with more up-to-the-minute news, the very latest on what is happening in the New York City real estate market. In the meantime, take care.